You are now tuned in to the multi-nominated, award-winning Game Spitting Chronicles podcast, hosted by the homie Cuzzo. You BZ? It's the Chronicles podcast. 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 It's the Chronicles podcast.
What up, y'all? This is your boy Cuzzo, and we are back for another episode of the Chronicles podcast. Let's go. Folks, it's getting progressively worse by the day, by the minute, by the second for Biden. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's becoming more and more of a shit show. Now, today is Thursday, and as this is going on, I was looking at Biden's press conference, his quote-unquote big boy press conference. They quoted it that, not me. Now, I'm sitting here watching this press conference, and to me, it sounded like someone had an earpiece in Biden's ear, because the way he was talking, the flow of the conversation, it just seemed like someone was feeding him answers. Now, I do believe that a lot of people have earpieces in where their team can relate things to them and, hey, say this or reference a speech so they don't go off task. But this was just fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. And you knew it was off to an incredible start when Biden introduced the president of Ukraine as President Putin. Oh, gosh. Yeah. I don't want you guys to think I'm making this up, so you can listen to it for yourself.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
It seems.
Yeah. It went right into a commercial. Laugh that up. Shit show. It was a shit show. It gets better, though. He referred to his vice president as Vice President Trump. Now, you guys are thinking, Cuzzo, you're full of shit. He didn't sit up here and do that, Cuzzo. Okay.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Yeah. It gets even better. Apparently, he was given pre-selected reporters to call on during the press conference. What part of the game is this? What are we doing now to where we're sitting here and we're just having pre-selected reporters that we're calling on? Where are we going with this? Like, is this a thing now? It's not getting any better, folks. It's not.
With that, I'll take your questions. I've been given a list of people to call on here. Reuters, Jeff Mason.
That's where it's going. This is truly where it's going. But it's good times. Let's keep the party going. Let's keep it going.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look,
you know, Cuzzo gives you the full remix.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
We had to run that one back. Oh, yeah. Now, there was other footage that came out a day or so ago where it sounded like, I can't make this up. It sounded like Biden said, I was fucking your wife, but in reality, I think he said, I was talking to your wife, but social media trolled this to death. We got to give it up for social media. You got to hear this one. You got to hear it.
He's a man of integrity and intellectual rigor, a calm temperament in a moment of crisis, a consummate diplomat who works with leaders across the political spectrum and always finds a way to keep us moving forward. Secretary, you've guided this alliance through one of the most consequential periods in its history. I realize, I was talking to your wife, I personally asked you to extend your service. Forgive me.
Huh?
You put your own plans on hold. When the Russia war in Ukraine began, you didn't hesitate. Today, NATO is stronger.
And then he said, forgive me. It sounded like he said, I was fucking your wife. It sounded like it. You know. I love the content, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But it sounded like he said, I was fucking your wife. You can't make this shit up. I personally asked you to extend your service. What? Folks, this is where we're at. What are the next steps? Actor George Clooney has now called for Biden to step aside, but yet, motherfucker, you were part of a fundraiser with him, what, a week or so ago? You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem and the fact that you don't have good movies. Fuck it, I'm saying it. Yeah. I'm calling it what it is. This is becoming a political shit show. It's time to tell Biden, bon voyage. Oh, yeah. But the problem that you run into with this is if you're telling him to step aside from campaigning, you have to tell him he needs to step aside from the presidency now. Because if he shouldn't be running for president now, which now all of a sudden people are saying, Biden's decline has been going on. But if you're going to say that now, then why is he running the country now? Speaker Kevin McCarthy said his wife, Jill Biden, is in policy meetings. Then we learned last week, I said it on the podcast last week, Hunter Biden's in meetings. What the fuck is going on? Just who is, I've posed this question. Who's running the show? Especially when, you have the press secretary, Miss Pierre. I mean, we know she's a shit show. She got asked a simple question, if there's an emergency, what is the protocol?
Well, he also said he's sharpest before 8 p.m. So, say that the Pentagon at some point picks up an incoming nuke. It's 11 p.m. Who do you call? The First Lady?
He has a team that lets him know of any news that is pertinent and important to the American people. He has someone that is decided, obviously, with his National Security Council on who gets to tell him that news.
A team? He's not even taking calls at night. He just got on the stove. I watched the press conference earlier. He said that's not true. They said, you got a curfew pretty much. And he said, no, that's not true. I just said if we have events, if we can have events an hour early. I think he said if there's a 9 p.m. event, we can have it at 8 so families can go home at 10. Biden, we know that's cap. We know it. We know that's bullshit. There was reporting that came out, this dude's not even working full 8-hour days. He's waking up late and turning it in early. Yeah. I mean, talk about phoning it in, right? What are we doing? Did you see the leaked footage of Trump from last week that leaked? I mean, he said what's on everybody's mind. You can't even be mad at him for the shit he said. Yeah. You can't even be mad at him. But hey, let's hear what he had to say.
Gave me so much. How did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, amazing.
He kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, He's quitting the race.
Is that right?
Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so fucking bad. So
I just can't imagine.
But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man.
Right.
A very tough guy, and they see him. They can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just keep knocking him out, right?
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, he said what was on everybody's mind, that was on everybody's mind. That's how that's the temperature. That is the pulse of what's going on. I mean, it literally is a disaster. This press conference was a shit show. It was. I didn't think that it was going to go well to begin with, but it just kept getting worse and worse. As the time went on, it just got bad. Is this the future of the Democratic Party? Is this who they're really going to run? But like I said last week, who are the candidates? Who do you get to replace him, though? Honestly. This is a realistic question. Because I keep hearing people yell these names, and I still see it a week later. I'm seeing all these names being mentioned, but Bernie's too old. Kamala's a shit show. Who else do we have? Gavin Newsom is a shit show, and California is a shit show. Michelle Obama doesn't want to run. And why should she? We'll get to that in a bit, because I got something that I saw in Chicago. She'd have to answer questions like that. We'll get to that later, but it's realistic questions. Because I don't want to bullshit the people. You people listen to this podcast and you expect me to be honest with you, to have candid conversation with you. That's what's expected of me. And I owe it to you to at least try to be fair and honest with my opinion and my assessment of where I think we're at. And salute to Twan, man. Salute to Twan was hitting me up with all the show notes from his side of listening to the Chronicles. He was hitting me off with that game today, man. And y'all got to remember, man, needleandthreadco.com. Needle and Threads, plural, co.com, baby. But folks, we're in a situation. From what I saw today, between him calling the president of Ukraine Putin and all that, folks, I don't see Biden lasting another 2 weeks. I mean, as the candidate, let me be clear. I'm not talking that kind of juju, you dig? Yeah. I don't see it lasting another couple of weeks. I don't think he's a viable candidate. But what they're going to run into, the issue they're going to run into is, what do you do with Kamala? Now, as of today, Thursday, Trump has not announced a VP. I kind of think he's waiting to see if Biden's going to step aside. Because if Biden steps aside, I think that he's going to make his VP pick based on that. I think that adds another layer to the VP choice. I told you guys, months ago, I think Carrie Lake should have been VP. She's got her own thing going on right now, her own race to run right now. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be candid. Would Vivek shock me as the VP candidate? No. Would Vance shock me as the VP candidate? No. I certainly don't think he's picking Marco Rubio. Don't even think that's a thing. My choice would be, and let me say this before I even say my choice. I think that he's got to go in a different direction. Because whoever he picks has to be primed and ready, because Trump's getting up in age too. I mean, Biden is the story right now, but we have to realize that Trump's going to be, he's look at his age now. In 4 years, I don't think he's looking to do 2 terms. So the vice presidential pick is possibly going to be running for the Republican ticket the next election. And that's a decision that has to be made too. My pick, I've got to say, I don't know if this is going to be the pick. Usually I tell you guys, I think this is what it is, and bam. I don't think this is going to be the pick, but I think if Trump wants to get independent voters that are on the fence, I think he can pick up female voters. I think he's got to go Tulsi Gabbard. She served the country. She's served the country in more ways than one. Tulsi is young. She's energetic. She's already whooped Kamala's ass in a debate. And I think Tulsi would be an excellent candidate to be a future presidential nominee. This is just my opinion. Because, I think Trump, and I've said this before when it was Carrie Lake, because I still think she's a dope pick, but I don't think that's even the thing because she's got her own race to run. I think Trump needs a female VP to solidify it. I think Trump having a female vice president to get more of the women's vote, as well as someone who can speak eloquently when it comes to the topic of abortion and women's rights and all that, and that will help his campaign and help contribute to that win. It's got to be a female, and I'm thinking Tulsi. That's where my head is at. That's what I'm thinking. Now, I don't know. By the time many of you listen to this podcast, we'll have a vice presidential nominee probably, but I think now is the time to have a good, solid female vice presidential pick. J.D. Vance, I mean, people are singing his praises, but there was a time where he didn't even like Trump. So, I mean, do you pick a guy who didn't even fuck with you at one time? Can you risk that? Is that a chance that you want to take? Or do you sit up here and say, you know what? I want to get more independent voters. I want to reach across the aisle and try to bring new voters over, because that's the name of the game. The Republican Party is his party, yes. Conservatives are who he's trying to cater to, yes. But to win an election, you have to somewhat reach across the aisle. So I think that would be a great pick. Now, am I willing to wager money that he's going to pick Tulsi Gabbard at this point in the game? Fuck no. Nope. I don't think that's a thing. But this was a disaster today. I'm already looking at the feed. It's news everywhere. This was supposed to be the quote unquote big boy press conference. They held it as that. They said this was the press conference that Biden was going to be able to come to the table and put everybody at ease. They even got footage of his cabinet members responding to when he called Trump his vice president. They've been doing that. They even got a montage of them talking about the big boy press conference all fucking week. They do.
Big boy press conference. Big boy press conference. A big boy press conference. Hold a press conference. A big boy press conference.
Press conference, I guess a big boy press conference is what we're calling it? The press conference, the big boy press conference. Y'all are planning to have.
Gives his press conference, his big boy press conference.
What is this motherfucker for? Is he being potty trained? I want to understand. I really do. I truly want to understand. This was an epic fail. You have to be able to convince the public that you can run this country. And they're not convincing anybody. People have real issues in the country. Food has gone up. People can't sit up here and go to the store and afford a meal. Gas, groceries, wages. All this is taken into granted or taken into consideration by voters. And a guy who's sitting up there and flubbering his sentences and stuttering, and I get it. Some people stutter. That's not the issue here. That's not what's going on here. And for you people telling me online that's all the people I see online that's saying, well, that's what's going on. That's the issue. He has a stuttering problem. What? You can't be serious. You don't expect me to buy that, right? That's not what I'm buying into. I read the newspaper. I know bullshit when I see it.
All right, I'll tell you a story. This is a newspaper, right? It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it, because it entertains me.
Because it entertains me. But you can't have a guy sitting up here flubbering and saying all kind of wild shit.
If it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're going to get a lot done.
Jesus. You got to make it make sense. And the smartest thing Trump could do right now, the smartest thing, if I'm a strategist, if I'm a political strategist, the smartest thing Trump can do right now is nothing. It's the art of war. Never interrupt your enemy as they're imploding, as they're self-destructing, as they're destroying themselves. Never do that. If I was Trump's political advisor, in the meantime, what I would tell him to do, I'd say, Trump, you got to go to needleandthreadsco.com, baby. That's NEEDLEANDTHREADSCO.com. needlethreadsco.com. Needleandthreadsco.com. You got to get your gear. It's all kind of goodies on the website. Why wait? Go check them out. Use promo code Chronicles. Get 15% off your order. Why not? It's the thing to do. When you get to the website, make sure you also enter your email and subscribe to the homie. Be the first to know when new items and stuff's going on and dropping in the shop. Subscribe and get 10% off. He's giving deals out. So needleandthreadsco.com. Absolutely. That's what I would tell Trump to do in the meantime. You dig? Oh, yeah. While I sip my water. But we'll see how this goes. They're still doing reactions as I'm recording. For all we know, he might step down tomorrow. It might be a shit show tomorrow, but the reactions are still coming in. He just finished up the press conference, I'd say about it almost an hour ago. So social media is still buzzing, but we'll know, we might know something by the next episode, but we'll see. You know, that's we'll see how it goes, but it's not looking fucking good. It's not. We have to look at this for what it is, and it's truly a shit show. Sexual chocolate. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, man, when you listen to these episodes and then you hear that intermission, Sexual Chocolate keeps the party going. It has been a shit show when it comes to violence recently. You have Chicago, Detroit. It's a mess. In Chicago, over 4th of July weekend, 100 people were shot. 17 people killed. And that's just over a holiday weekend. Why isn't this national news? Why aren't people talking about this?
Chicago saw an eruption of gun violence this long holiday weekend. 100 people were shot across the city. 17 of them were killed. The injured include 3 men who were shot near the University of Chicago Hospital this morning. And late last night, a 26-year-old man was killed while walking down East 21st Street near Michigan Avenue.
I was walking my dog at the dog park across from the Marriott by like 320 East 21st over there, and I heard like at least 15 clear gunshots.
The number of people injured or killed by gunfire over the holiday far exceeds last year's tally.
And that's just in Chicago. That's Chicago. But let's go to Detroit, because Detroit's got some recent news for us too. A block party that turned fatal.
We have several people shot at the location. We need a unit to make this location. We have one shot in the head.
Police dispatch audio.
Also be advised, there's still an active shooter. Use caution making that location.
A mass shooting at a block party on Detroit's east side. Altogether, 21 people shot, 2 of them fatally.
This is not normal.
It happened Sunday morning around 2:30 on Rossini, not far from Gratiot.
It's so disheartening because in our community, normally it's quiet.
The 2 victims, a 21-year-old man and a 21-year-old woman. The 19 shooting survivors, also young people, ranging in age from 17 to 25, all taken to area hospitals, many of them undergoing surgery.
This type of shooting is not normal, and it's something that we should not sit by and let it continue to happen.
Detroit police processing the scene during much of Sunday. So far, no arrests. Monday, the police chief, along with the mayor, plan to brief the media on the mass shooting. They also intend to discuss the police department's comprehensive new strategy regarding block parties.
If all of us are working together, we're all being the eyes and ears of our community, we're reporting situations, and hopefully before things happen or things get out of control, we can address any issue that we might have.
We have to be proactive in this. We have to get out in the community and get residents up and out to fight against this type of violence.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And just think, the Democratic National Convention is supposed to be in Chicago, right? That's why I said earlier, I don't think Michelle Obama's even thinking about this race. What is she going to say when someone asks her the question, what is your plan for gun violence? And don't sit up here and say, we need to get rid of guns, because that's not the issue. People that have guns illegally are committing crime. She's got to talk about Chicago. She's got to talk about the border. These are, whoever's the nominee, I assume it would be Kamala, but whoever the nominee is going to have to address this. It's a shame that this kind of violence is going on everywhere across the country. Then you have, California, Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, New York. Did you see the footage online of the guy who apparently had killed a woman? He was a guy who was, I want to say he has what do you call those go-karts, those mobile carts for those that are disabled. They got footage of him just dragging a dead body on camera. And then the police went to get him, and the whole neighborhood, the family and folks and everyone in the neighborhood got to whooping his ass when the cops brought him out on a stretcher. Did you see it? You go search it. I think you can just search a New York woman in bag, and they'll show you the footage. They whooped his motherfucking ass, as they should, when he came out that apartment complex. But these are things that should be talked about in a debate. I feel like when we watch these presidential debates and these candidates talk, it's not enough talk about issues like this. Crime. When you talk about crime, talk about crime. I appreciate them bringing up bullshit, but people don't watch for the bullshit. Voters watch because they want to get their issues talked about and discussed. Anything else, you're wasting time, and it's cap.
Stop the cap.
You got to stop it. You've got to. I wonder, during the gun violence, were they playing Not Like Us? Just saying. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Because people are still talking about the Kendrick thing. That's the only reason I brought that up. I saw one of the artists, did you see on Twitter, Absol, the artist Absol, talking about Drake still has an opportunity as an MC to redeem himself? I said, nigga, what are you talking about? Huh? Redeem himself? The fuck? Make it make sense. The nigga was already back #1 on most streamed artists like a week later. What the fuck are we talking about? Redeem himself. How's somebody that lost a rap battle have to redeem themselves? That tells you that it was too many rappers and too many people that had opinion in this beef. Everybody turned it into a West Coast thing. And I'm from the West Coast, and I get it. The West Coast took a W. I absolutely understand that. But it's time for you niggas to stop worrying about this beef and get to working on your own projects and worrying about pushing your music. Y'all still invested in this Kendrick shit when y'all music ain't popping off. All these West Coast artists that was so into the beef and yeah, we West Coasting and this. Okay, when is your project coming out? When is your project gonna bubble? Because we got bigger stuff to worry about than this now. We're talking about an election. The Drake shit's done. Kendrick has to go and make songs that people are gonna want to listen to now. Kendrick has to figure out now if he's going to be one way as a rapper or another way now. He has to figure that out. He has to actually go in and make an album that's going to follow up a victory from a battle now. And then we go from there. But this is where we're at. We got violence going on. People are tired. I saw something else as well, too. You guys can search online. I believe it's migrants, New York, migrants. Type in migrants moped or motorcycle. I saw a news story about, I guess, 2 migrants that are going around robbing people at restaurants at gunpoint on a moped. One's driving, one's sitting on the moped, and they robbing motherfuckers. Can't make this up. Can't make it up. Yeah. They can't even talk. Apparently, from the reports, they're not even talking. They're going up to victims, holding the gun up, pointing the gun to the watch, pointing the gun to the necklace, and just pointing it at it, and you got to give it up. Yeah. Yeah. Remember the good old days when niggas used to actually talk to you when they robbed you? Yeah. Those were the good old days. Those were the good old days when niggas would tell you, stick your fucking hands up and give me everything you got. Hey, come up out that watch. Come up out that chain. These migrants are coming over. They're not even telling you shit. They're just pointing at your shit, and you gotta play Simon Says as soon as they point to your shit. If not, you're catching a slug to the dome. You're not playing Simon Says anymore. You're playing Migrant Says, and they ain't saying shit. I said it. I don't want people to get offended because I said it. You got to play Migrant Says. That's the new shit. And they not saying shit. It's crazy. This is why people are fed up, though. People want change. They want something to... They want shit to get better. They want it to improve, the issues to get better, the economy, migration, jobs. They want things to improve for their way of living. And I don't blame them. We were talking about it last week, even going out on a date. It ain't even a guy paying for a first date now. Ain't even wrong if he wants some intimacy afterwards. You got these places like Olive Garden and all these other places. I watched something online yesterday. A guy said he paid $60 for a 2-person meal at Popeyes. What? Fast food is becoming the new fine dining. A family spending upwards of $50, $60 at McDonald's. So what do you expect if you're going to Cheesecake Factory, sweetheart? What do you expect? Yeah. Yep. Going out to these places, margaritas are costing $10 to $15 for a margarita. Gas is $5 a gallon. Some places it's more than that. Some places it's lower. It all depends. But don't worry. The gas will go down before the election. It always goes down around election time. Ain't that convenient? Choices to make. Meanwhile, we got a guy who is having a press conference and he looks like he's the fuck up out of there. It looks like they're about to pack him the fuck out. And you know Cuzzo loves his pack outs. Oh yeah. I love me a good pack out, don't I? Yeah. They got to tell the nigga Bon Voyage. He's got to get the fuck up out of here.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
Y'all got to pack them out or y'all going to lose. I'm keeping it a buck. Y'all going to lose if y'all don't pack them out. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all too. They might still lose even if they pack this nigga out. At this point, there are no guarantees. The polls are showing it. There are no guarantees. That's why motherfuckers are in a panic. They're in a panic. Everything is coming back around. They know it. They want a new horse in the race. They don't want the same person for another 4 years. You have to remember that let's just say Biden runs again. Let's just say he continues running and he wins. He's not lasting another 4 years. I'm sorry. Nancy Pelosi is losing her cool on an ABC reporter simply asking, is Biden going to be the nominee? What's going on? Tell us what's going on, Nancy. That's all the lady wanted.
Do you believe that him waiting so long to make this decision could harm the party?
Any comments in the hallway about the fate of our nation. Okay?
Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can win in November.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not. Am I speaking English to you? I'm not going to be making any statements about any of that right now in the hallway.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the biggest story right now. Will he or won't he? And it's looking like it's 70-30. Biden's packed the fuck up out of there. It was sad to watch today. We'll be back. Ooh, I love that. Especially that end part. I love that shit, man. We got to give it up for that. Cuzzo loves that. You know what's another motherfucker that has to sit down? It's time for him to sit down too. And y'all gonna be shocked who I say it is, folks. It's Busta Rhymes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you see Biden at the Biden? See, I got him on the brain still. Goddamn. Yeah. Did you see Busta Rhymes at the Essence Awards during his performance, trying to get everybody to stand up? I don't know what's worse, the fact that the audience was empty as fuck, or the fact that he was pleading with people to stand up. Yeah.
The house lights on. New Orleans, y'all look like y'all tired. You motherfuckers ain't ready. I don't give a fuck how many seats is empty in this bitch. Everybody that's here, get the fuck up. Sir and miss, thank you. Excuse me, brother. Don't start with motherfucking me today. Fuck going on? What the fuck going on? Hey, yo, fuck them camera phones too. Let's get back to interacting like humans. Put them weird ass devices down. I ain't from that era. Them shits don't control the soul. Fuck your phone. Excuse me, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I will point every last one of y'all out until y'all asses is up. 33 years of doing this shit, I ain't used to niggas sitting down at my show. I don't give a fuck. All age groups, get your ass up now. I see you, beautiful queen. Get up too. Fuck going on? Everybody up top too. Get your big head asses up. Look, the reason why there will be zero tolerance for bullshit energy in here is because this is my first time in New Orleans at the fucking 30-year anniversary of the Essence Festival. This my first time. This my brother's first time, and it's my other brother first time.
That's right.
Make me feel like we home.
Hey, yo, if you want to turn it up, say turn it up. Say turn it up. Turn up.
About 3 people said turn it up. Yeah. Busta, your time is over. That's why nobody gives a fuck. I said this when Method Man came out and said he wasn't going to perform at Summer Jam. I think it was Summer Jam. What was that? 3 weeks ago? Nobody cares about these old ass rappers anymore. We got to be honest. This new generation doesn't give a fuck. I asked my son doesn't know half of these rappers that are run around here still performing. He's 14. He doesn't give a fuck about these rappers. Because you know I like to try to gauge shit. You know? I try to keep my finger on the pulse, at least, of what the generation's feeling. And these kids don't give a fuck about Busta Rhymes or knew who Busta Rhymes was. Yes, Busta Rhymes is a dope artist. But I'm 43 now. I listen to Busta Rhymes. That shit is over. These artists are running around here trying to demand respect, and these young motherfuckers do not care. And if you don't believe me, if you got kids and you listen to this podcast and you're around my age, you go ask them, do you know who Busta Rhymes is? Do you give a fuck? You know what they're going to tell you? When you ask them, when you look them in the face and you say, hey, do you know who Busta Rhymes is?
Nope.
Have you ever heard any of his songs?
Nope.
Do you give a fuck?
Nope.
There you fucking have it. Yeah. It's crazy. You guys are old timers now. The old timers are running around here trying to demand respect. They don't give a fuck about that. So if you can't get them up, I watch. If you look the video up online. That shit is empty as fuck. And I don't want to sound mean saying it, but it is what it is. It's empty. But you want people to give you that same level of respect. I'm sorry, we can't live in our past. We must push forward. We have to keep moving towards greatness. We have to. Speaking of greatness, did you hear about State Farm raising California's insurance? They give 0 fucks. 0 fucks. State Farm announced, remember they announced a couple months ago that they were going to discontinue 72,000 home policies across California? 72,000. Now they say they're going to raise homeowners insurance policies by 30% in California. They're going to raise condo policies by 36% and renters policies by 52%. Oh, yeah. Not making this up. As someone who has a real estate license and is familiar with this situation, I can tell you that's going to fuck the market up in California. Homes are high as fuck in California. I honestly don't even understand how people stomach staying in California. I don't do it. I asked my homeboy, how do you do it? He has this situation, and I'm sure everybody has their situation, but how do you do it? Rent is ridiculous. And to know that renters insurance is going up 52%? Condo insurance 30%? Guess what happens when the condo insurance goes up? Because the cost of materials and everything else is going on. If you stay in a condo association and the price of your insurance is going up as well as the cost of materials, let's just say let's assume your homeowners association or condo association covers roofs and lawn maintenance and everything. All that shit's going up. So just to have an insurance increase alone, guess what that means? Motherfucker, that means you're going to have a dues increase. And for the people that don't know what that is, dues are what you pay as a homeowner or a condo owner into the association. When you live in an association, you pay homeowners dues or condos dues. Sometimes they're monthly, sometimes they're quarterly, sometimes they're yearly, dependent on how the association is set up. Oh yeah, I'm here to educate too. Cuzzo's here for the bullshit, you dig? Oh yeah. But those things go up and those things are going to be rolled on to you as the homeowner or condo owner. Trust me, I've been on the property management side, and up here in Alaska, it's a shit show. So I can only imagine the kind of bullshit that it is in California. Speaking of bullshit, did you guys see the WrestleMania behind the scenes? Is it me, or was that just a coping mechanism to sit up here and make people try to look at The Rock in a different light? Oh, yeah. It was like he tried to make himself the savior of WrestleMania 40. I don't understand this. We have to understand that The Rock's career at this point is declining. We have to sit up here and understand that. The Rock isn't someone that is knocking down Hollywood still. No. Black Adam proved that. Nobody gave a fuck about Black Adam. The Rock put on a clinic of sitting here telling lies. Yeah. He put on a clinic of it. When will we realize that he's full of shit? And I gotta keep it on. I gotta keep it a buck. But hey, he won't even admit the stuff that he's on, allegedly. So why would I expect him to go on a behind the scenes and admit that him trying to insert himself into a storyline that's going on for 2 years just because he wants to main event? How can I convince him that that's nonsense? You know? I mean, really. You have to make it make sense. I want to understand. I want to be a believer in The Rock. But hey, I just watched it and it just popped in my head just now and I said, this guy's full of shit. Yeah. Yeah. He made the call. Let's go in a different direction. No, motherfucker, the fans made the call. Let's go in a different direction. But hey, what can I say? I mean, you know, selfish people will be selfish. And look at the Maui shit if you want to see what The Rock was talking. If you wanted to smell what he was cooking. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, you know, I mean, that's where we're at now. That's the state of where we are. How was your 4th of July? Did everybody have a good 4th? I relaxed, you know, barbecued, and, you know, that's what it was. Get out and enjoy the summer. Because fall, you got a decision to make, motherfuckers. You got to vote fall, so get out and enjoy that summer. Because the shit's going to keep rolling. It's going to become more and more of a shit show as we go on. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to the bullshit. That's just me personally, though.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
What? I am looking forward to it, you know? You have to. For anybody who doesn't think that this is going to be entertaining, then, you know, I mean, hey.
I almost forgot. Go fuck yourself.
But we will see, you know. I will definitely be paying attention. We might have Kamala is the person that's running, and she might be picking a VP. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised at this rate, the way that press conference just went. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 2 weeks we're hearing of changes made. That's just the way it's looking now. I could be wrong. That's how I'm seeing it currently. It's not looking good, so we'll see. We'll see how it pans out, and we'll see who Trump's nominee is going to be. You know, he should be making his decision, I'd say, within the next week. We should know. So stay tuned. Make sure y'all go to needleandthreadsco.com, pick up some gear. Remember, Chronicles the promo code. Check them out, man. Sign up for subscribe to get email updates. Get 10% off just for subscribing. I mean, you motherfuckers get your emails and shit hacked anyway, so you might as well subscribe and get 10% off some shit. Just saying. You know. Shit. Yeah. Y'all motherfuckers get phishing emails anyway, so you might as well give it a shot. You dig? So we're finna be up out of here. Before we get up out of here, y'all already know.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
I know since it's Thursday, I like to do Throwback Thursdays. So I'm going to say for Throwback Thursday, go check out previous episodes of the Chronicles podcast. If you're a new listener, go back to the beginning and go all the way through. See how we got to where we are today at the Chronicles. Check it out. And there is going to be a new episode of Chronicles podcast, or not Chronicles podcast, Conversations with Cuzzo coming soon. An interview with another one of my big homies, the homie Pimp. You know, we've got to give it up for Pimp. Shout out to him. And, you know, we got more episodes coming, so stay tuned. Conversations with Cuzzo is the best thing going with the Chronicles. You get episodes like this, and then you get the interview guest talk segments, and then you even get the live streams with Twan. I mean, come on, man. It's what it is. Chronicles is where it at. Is what the business is. You dig? That's what we do, and we're going to continue to do it. Now I'm about to get my ass off here because I've been fasting all day, and it's time for me to break my fast. Let's see what I'm at right now. Speaking of, hungry as fuck. Looking it up while I take a minute. I am 21 and a half hours into my fast. So yeah, I'm going to go grab me something to eat. I've been stumbling and fumbling because a motherfucker's been hungry. Shit, so I need to get something in my belly. Yeah. But remember, get goals accomplished, stay focused, stay ready. You already know, man. This is your boy Cuzzo, and we out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.